screen for the Nova lathe, but I'll take care of that. That's not a problem. It's just we've got to start using these no matter what lathe we have because our insurance requires it. Okay. Ronnie was a participant. He and Harold at the Kingsport Festival, and it was horrible. The weather was not their friend, but they were able to do some demonstrations and all that, but they got saturated. It was just a rainy, awful weekend. Denise, Richard, they had the same issue in Nashville. Weather is not your friend in spring, but we were able to go, participate, and just have that change of scenery, I guess, and be able to share our work with other artisans. Anything else that we all want to add? Oh, treasurer's report. Okay, go ahead.
We have 48 members paid for this year, which is a good number. We had several responses when I sent out the email, so thank you for that. Dues paid for this year, $1,260. We've actually taken in $440 this year for wood donations and sales of tools that have been sold. So that's a good money maker for us. So if you've got stuff, you can bring it, continue to do that. It's easy to do, and it helps us treasure. As of today, we have $5,166 in our checking.
Yes.
I wanted to mention one other thing too. Just if you happen to be making purchases for the club, like a sound system, video, computer stuff, we now have a tax exempt status from the state of Tennessee. Lisa and I both have copies of the letters that you will need to present the letter when you make a purchase. It exempts us from state taxes. So be sure to do that. It saves us a few dollars. It's about 10%, which goes back to the treasury. So that's a good thing to keep in mind. And I was going to reiterate the same that, but you can certainly protect people who come up close to watch what you do.
Yeah, very good.
Are we at 501c or 501c?
501(c).
So people can donate their estates and so forth. Yeah. As far as I know, I think that's correct. But we need to bring John Gill over here. He'll get you some money. Who? John Gill.
Yep.
He's the one about to ask for money. Oh, let's do it.
If you have opportunity, and I wish you would often, look at our website. There are pictures of both events. Ronnie's had limited pictures, but they are there. We had some pictures. I got pictures of those two over there actually using a broom and a dustpan. That was great. With the jet lathe, the way we mounted the screen, Dave had an 8-year-old down here, right up at it, watching him turn a top. But because the screen was low enough, she was safe. And of course, like he said, it exploded backwards. But that was a huge thing, and it put my mind at ease. So, anyway, as far as anything else, we have other announcements. Okay, so we're going to do the instant gallery now because I didn't forget this time. I'm slow, but I get there. So, who would we want to start with? Who's at the end over there? Oh, good, Walt.
I brought a couple pieces of maple here that I made. The power company cut down a tree next door. And this is the way the color was fresh and green. It's not spalted at all. The tree was well alive. It had all this color in. It's wonderful. I do have a few more pieces I can get. If maybe I'll bring them next time. But that's available. It's more than I can turn.
Was that wet wood when you turned it?
Yes.
Did you dry it in a specific way or just let it
I'll tell in a minute. This one, I turned it to this thickness, dried it in the microwave, and then sanded it. And I start sanding with 180 grit on this after it's dry. On the other one here, I thought I'd be real smart, and I wanted to make a round bowl same wood, same tree. So I turned it like a ½ an inch thick, and I dried it in the microwaves, and I thought it was pretty dry, it was dry enough so I could sand it anyway, without loading up the sandpaper. But so I sanded it and put the finish on it and everything. And if you look at it, that thing is over an inch out of round. So it's not like a regular twice-turned bowl where you end up with a round bowl at the second time. I thought it would be, but it's sure not. It's probably over an inch out of round.
Thank you. All right, and next.
This is a piece of sycamore John Maxwell gave me. And I used the ink dye system, ink alcohol. Tried to dye the wood. Harold, that's got 3 coats of wipe-on poly. So I don't know what I'm doing with it. It's
About 2 more and you'll have gloss then. No,
2 more coats.
2 more coats. It's soaking that poly up.
Okay. I didn't know if I was doing it wrong or not.
Well, that turned out a beautiful color. It looks like plum wood, but I never seen a plum tree that big.
Yeah, the sycamore is a clear wood.
What color dye would you use?
I think it was red. I'm not sure. Yeah. So Tony brought me a chunk of Ambrosia maple. And he brought me a big log up one night. It was still green, but I put it in front of the fan and dried it for weeks. So I think it turned out beautiful. And then I burned some circles on it. Gave it some character. And I forgot what kind of finish I put on it.
All right, now it's me, Harold. Bamboo. There'll be more to come, but when we did the St. Patty's Day event in Jonesboro, the wind, the rain, the yuck was there. It was awful. So our stuff got blown over and hit the pavement. A lot of things had to be reworked, like this lid. So by the time I got done turning it down, I thought, hey, is that going to fit? And it fit perfect. So I said, okay, I'll take that and show Harold I did something with it. But I blew up 2 other pieces. I love orbs. I'm working on a creation with orbs. So plywood and epoxy. This is just, I just love this. But the cutoffs, when you put it, in the bandsaw and you cut the edges off so you don't have to turn so much, I took all those 4 corners and put them together and made a weed pot. So I figure as much as epoxy costs, I'm not going to waste a bit of it. So anyway, there's a weed pot for that, and then my orb. And Richard has brought, because he's showing off, a hollowed weed pot. So it's hollowed. You can tell him if you want to. And then all of these Stan has brought for our Jeremiah Cafe donation in July. So next month, bring in your weed pots, and we have Walt and John LaChance and Stan made these for the donations. So you can put the money in, but it's really hard to get the money out. So they set these beside their cash registers, and it was quart mason jars, but they get knocked off and broken. So when I talked to them, they said, yes, please, that would be fabulous. And I liked the idea of a fishbowl shape. So we're doing weed pots for the tables. If you're making weed pots, no bark. Because if they get condiments or spill something on it, the bark would be nasty. You can't get the stuff out of it, and they would have to toss it away because it wouldn't be sanitary. So these can be wiped. So just keep that in mind and try and make them as waterproof on the outside as you can. So, and that's all we've got. So our demonstrator this evening is, take it away.
All right. Is this working?
Yep. Is it?
Is it working? Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm going to try to make one of the little LED lanterns. I'll pass one around with the parts that go with it if you want to see one. The critical part is locating your holes. I try to make mine 2 inch by 2 inch, and there's no such thing as a perfect 2 inch by 2 inch. So I use the precision marker, and I mark my line on both sides. And then if it's not a perfect 2 inch, you have 2 lines, and then you can put your point in the center of the 2 lines, and it's perfect in the center. So this has to be really close to perfect to have a good concentric when you turn it round. And I start out with a piece about 5 inches long, and if anybody's interested, I've got drawings up front. And the first step is to make it round. I'll mark it off from a beading. I'll burn the little grooves. And have to make a dovetail for the chuck. Now I'll drill the holes for the lights. Then you have to drill a smaller hole up through the center so the light will go through. Now you need to remove the material between the beads. And I do that with a spindle gouge. I did bust that bead there. Then you have to drill a hole for the bail. Usually stopped. That's why we got the shield here. And then I wait till it hurts a little bit. And then you just turn it over if you drill far enough and without busting the bottom. And then if I was going to sand it, which I'm not going to tonight, this is probably not worth sanding. You have to make a jam chuck to fit the hole on the bottom. See there, you can sand it here or before you turn it, but then when you turn the bottom off at your ball, and it's on your jam chuck, when you do that, it's perfectly aligned, so it won't wobble with you when you cut the end off. Let's see. And to make the bail, just take a 2.5 inch piece of copper wire, and on the ends I put about a 3/8 or 3/16 of an inch 90 on both ends. And then I made a little fixture of a screw and nuts. And you just wrap the bail right around it, close it up, and if it's not lined up in that position, you can line your little bail handles up, unscrew your nut, pull it off, and your bail is almost perfect. So, and then you just open it up and put your bail on just like the one that went around. I don't know where it went, but that's it. Doesn't take long to make one, and for a finish, I just use that tried and true. I just soak a rag, rub them down, wait about 5 minutes, wipe off the excess, and you're done. There's no need to worry about polyurethane because nobody's going to handle them, wear them out, or anything. So, but that's the process that I use. Works. I made about 30 last Christmas, I guess. Everybody in the family's got one.
Those little tea lights kind of stay in there to help it like.
Yeah, I use hot melt glue. And there are two versions of them. The little short ones are tapered. So you have to make your hole tapered. Then you have to make a different jam chuck with more tape on it to accommodate the taper. And you can I get these at Hobby Lobby, and you can get those at Dollar Tree. Well, it's just a little different style of light compared to the, and I think they look a little more natural than the others. But they are tapered, and it's a little harder to turn it around on your jam chuck. But yeah, and you get like six of them for $3 or $4. I mean, it's not very much. They're inexpensive. But that's it. Some of them says they'll burn for 1,000 hours on the pack, and I don't believe it, but I've hung them on the Christmas tree, and we'll, turn them on, and they'll burn, several nights. But it's the real cheap batteries that goes in them, and they're easy to replace. Maple. I've used oak. On oak, about 2 out of 10 you'll bust the way the grain is on the oak. But maple, walnut, cherry. Cherry does real, the dark one's cherry. And see, that oil really sets the color off on the cherry. But cherry is real good. Maple, walnut. Oh, I sold 3 or 4 at 25. Yeah, I sold 4 or 5 to the ladies at church last year, but most of them just gifts. Yeah. No comment. Well, yeah. But that's all. Yeah. Because they're not going to be handled very, very little, and that tried and true does get hard. It does, yeah. But that wasn't a real dark cherry, but it really popped the color on it. But yeah. Rest of my time? Oh. No. But that's quick. It's a quick little ornament, quicker than the birdhouses, I think. But
Hardest part is drilling the hole.
it is, yeah.
Having them absolutely perfect here on each side.
Not professional. By no means. By no means.
So do you use grad bits for drilling holes?
Yeah. And I think some of the ones that are tapered is a little bit different diameter hole by about a 1/16. So. But that's it. You're welcome. Thank you, Barlow.
Well, this